present. We appreciate you and we look forward to our conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and start in the top left-hand part of my screen and work my way over. And we'll start with introductions. So name and title. Barb, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Sure. I'm Barb Bromlevy, and I'm a community health specialist. And I'm working on the McLean County ROSC and also Ford County ROSC.
Thanks, Barb. Alrighty, Kat Hayes.
Hey everyone, I'm Kat. I am the recovery specialist for the McLean County ROSC.
Thank you, Kat. We'll do Josh Wheeler, and then Selena, and then Doug.
Hello, everyone. Josh Wheeler, McLean County Center for Human Services, filling in for Natasha. I supervise Natasha, so she's generally the one that's here, but today she asked me to kind of be a part of it. So here I am.
Thanks, Josh.
Selena Nolan. I am pursuing a master's in public health, and I'm a community member with ROSC.
Thank you, Selena.
And I'm Doug Bernius. I'm the program assistant in the recovery specialist program here at Heartland Community College.
Awesome. Thank you, Doug. All righty, we'll do Michael Smith, and then Molly, and then Nolan.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Smith. I'm the outreach worker for Central Illinois for Oxford House Incorporated. I'm currently in Bloomington and working my way to Champaign.
Thank you. I'm Molly Allen. I'm the Assistant Regional Superintendent of Schools for ROE 17, serving DeWitt, Livingston, Logan, and McLean counties. And I also work very closely with our Bridge academies.
I am Nolan Reckert, Community Health Specialist with Chestnut Health Systems, working with the Center for Community Engagement.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael, Molly, and Nolan. We'll do Andrea, Toy, and then Denise.
I'm Andrea Kinseth. I work at Life Center for Independent Living, an advocacy group for people with disabilities, and I assist individuals with disabilities transitioning out of nursing homes and facilities.
Hi, everybody. My name is Toy Beasley. I am with TAS, Treatment Alternatives for Safer Communities. I am the Reentry Support Coordinator statewide. I'm also the president of the McLean County Reentry Council and a board member of the Fatherhood Coalition of McLean County.
Hi, everyone. I'm Denise Backus. I am a business development coordinator with Banyan Treatment Centers and also co-founded Peoria Recovery Project.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andrea, Toy, and Denise. We'll then turn it over to Alan, Michelle, and then Alicia.
I'm not a member.
All right, we'll go ahead and do Michelle.
This is Michelle Cope with the Bloomington Public Library. I do community engagement and I drive the bookmobile and a bunch of other little side hustles. And I'd love to talk with you about connecting.
Hi, my name's Alicia. I'm with McLean County Fuse Program. We're underneath Behavioral Health Care Coordination. If you ever want to know about what Fuse is, you can just contact me. It's alicia.mushan at mcleancountyil.gov.
Wonderful. Thank you both. All right, we'll turn it over to Erica, and then Damika, and then Emily.
Hi, everyone. I'm Erica. I'm a prevention specialist with the Prescription Playbook. I work under the state opioid response grant, so I try to do opioid prevention and substance use prevention education to adolescents and communities.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Damika Kirkwood, and I'm with Prairie State Legal Services. I'm one of their community resource specialists.
Alrighty, Emily Hartley, if you wouldn't mind unmuting and introducing yourself.
Yes, thank you, Carrie. Hi, my name is Emily Hartley, and I work at Brightpoint in the Scott Child and Family Center. I'm a community services coordinator.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Damika. Thank you, Erica. I will now turn it over to Armando and then Marisa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Armando Miranda. I am a prevention specialist with Youth Services, operating under State Opioid Response and SIRSUPS. Yeah, happy to be here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marisa. I'm with McLean County CASA as a CASA supervisor. No updates right now.
Thank you both. And then Lakeisha Smith.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
I'm Lakeisha Smith. I'm the Resident Services Coordinator at the Bloomington Housing Authority. And the announcement that I have is that we have paralegal services here on site twice a week, and it's open to everyone in the community.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lakeisha. Anyone that I was not able to get to or maybe accidentally passed over? Okay, we will go ahead and share our PowerPoint for today. And I will turn it over to Kat to talk a little bit about our strategic plan discussion and what our plan for today's meeting will entail.
So for our meeting today, we really wanted to take an opportunity to engage the council in some conversation on updating our strategic plan. With that process today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a review of our FY23 McLean County ROSC strategic plan goals. Once we've done this, we will go ahead and go into breakout rooms for some smaller group discussion, just centered around 4 or 5 questions. Once we've been in breakout rooms for about 10 minutes, our facilitators who have generously voluntold, I should say, we asked them if they would be willing to lead discussions. Afterwards, they'll do kind of a report out on what came as results of those conversations. And then we will in turn utilize that information to inform and update our strategic plan going forward for this year. So for our strategic main planning goals that we've had, a big one is maintaining diversity of our ROSC Council, which means member retention and also making sure we intentionally have a diversity that reflects the uniqueness of McLean County across the different sectors, along with increasing awareness of what ROSC does and also just kind of the other things we do within the community. Other planning goals have been offering a wide variety of recovery supports within the community to help people gain better access and to reduce barriers. Examples of these have included our sober social events, community outreach initiatives, community presentations we've done. And then our last goal is implementing solutions that both address support and service gaps. These have been innovative solutions like our McLean County Sober Social Guide. We also have the collaboration we did with McLean County Problem Solving Boards. So these are just kind of the things we would like you to reflect on as we go through our questions during our breakout discussions. So as I said, we will make about 4 or 5 questions here for you. The first one is we want to ask you, what's your opinion on what do you think we're generally doing well right now? Or what have we done well over the past year? 4 years. Gosh, it's crazy to think we're that far. What are other ways you would like to see us change or improve? What are some specific ways you'd like to get involved with the ROSC? We've been trying to be very intentional about those different ways you can get involved with community calls to action, but we are always seeking feedback of more ideas on how we can turn that around to give you those ways to get involved. And then just kind of taking a look at what have been key strategic priorities over the last year. We came down to about 4 or 5 of those. Those were specifically recovery housing, adolescent services, rural McLean County outreach, development of a variety of recovery or support group meetings, and then raising awareness of local recovery supports and services. And with those, we just want to know, do you believe that these are still strategic priorities we need to be focusing on? And then our last question is, what are new key strategic priorities that you think we should be focusing on over this fiscal year? So with that, we're going to go ahead and break out into our discussion groups.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kat. And I will open those in just a minute. We will give groups about 10 to 12 minutes to have conversation. And again, thank you to our facilitators that are on here today. They have these sets of questions in front of them and will help keep the conversation going and engage as much as possible. But again, it's really through all of your perspectives and opinions that we're able to make the edits to these plans, right? So we really appreciate any valuable feedback that you guys can provide to us today. At the end of the day, a ROSC Council, right, is not just Chestnut, even though we're the lead agency, right? It's each and every one of you that make up our council. And it's through your feedback that we're able to make appropriate changes to these plans that it eventually will be implemented in the community that we all serve, right? So thank you for being here today. Thank you for staying engaged in our ROSC Council. And we look forward to coming back as a group after our breakout discussions to have a larger report out as to what was discussed in each of those. You will receive a little reminder at that 60-second mark, the last final minute, for everyone to join back in the main group. If you have any questions, please let your facilitator know. Otherwise, I will open the breakout groups now.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I am your facilitator. How you guys doing today again?
Good.
Lakeisha, good to see you, hear you.
Doing it good. Doing good. Good to see you too.
Andrea, Doug, thank you. So we're just gonna, and also Michael, and then whoever Chestnut Health Systems is. So we're just gonna jump into it. I know she gave you guys the questions already, but I'm just gonna repeat them just to remind everyone so we can really look at. So the first question is, in what areas do you feel that the McLean County ROSC is generally doing well? Anybody
This is
want?
Andrea, I love the resource guide that's been put together over the last year. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of it, but it's been a little bit since I've looked at it, but that was amazing. Like, I shared that with some consumers. It's recovery support resources. We got a nice little, I know, URL or image. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
I think that's been great. And all the outings and get-togethers and things like that I've heard about sound like I haven't been as a huge participant over the years, but I would say those things have been amazing that I've witnessed and observed. So
yeah, there's the sober social guide and then the virtual resource something or other.
that's what I was talking about, the virtual resource guide. I looked on that one day and I shared it with a couple consumers and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I'm with you too, Andrea. I mean, the resource guide is so important because that one of the biggest things I see on the ground every day when people transition from treatment, prison, wherever they coming back to from life struggles, are having a lack of resources. So everybody's got a cell phone too, so you can look on your cell phone for the electronic. And anything else? Anyone else?
I like how you guys have recovery support groups that you guys kind of create in areas, especially rural areas. I dealt with the one over in Galesburg. It's different whenever we set up houses in areas and there's not a whole lot of meetings. I started out in Peoria and there's a ton of meetings here, but the other areas I go to, it seems like, there isn't 10 to 15 meetings a day going on. Obviously it's hard to support that kind of gatherings, but I like how they come up with ideas on how to do peer support groups and different little things like that in the areas that kind of give the guys there and the women there a different place to go to have their meetings or to have someone like-minded help them.
Absolutely. Those are some great things. Resource guide, outings, virtual resource, recovery support groups in the area. Anyone else before we move to the next one?
Boy, this is Lakeisha.
Yeah.
I think even how you guys run your meetings
Okay.
is very informative. I learned a lot from them, and I feel like it's very beneficial. You know, it's not going in circles, but it's very organized, you know, and all the supports that you guys have provided, you guys have been very consistent.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, number 2, it says, in what ways do you feel, in what ways would you like to see the McLean County change or improve? I think they're doing a great job. You know, I mean, really, I mean, from where I seen it came from when it first started, I was around when it first started 3-4 years ago, and the transition going through COVID. So I think it's improved a lot. What's your guys' thoughts?
I agree.
Okay.
I haven't been around very long, but they said there wasn't one in Champaign. I would love to see one in Champaign that'd make my life a little easier over there.
Yeah. Well, in Champaign, they may have one, but they do have something called the Champaign County Reentry Council.
Reentry Council.
So I connect you. I send you an email afterwards, and I connect you with a couple places in Champaign. I don't think they have ROSC though, but they have other councils there. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I would say from Heartland Community College's perspective, like I'm more on the administrative side of things, working with our students, but I think, and I know Ross tries as much as possible, but it's always hard to try and get more of our students involved and staying. What I notice, a lot of our students will take our courses, but then they don't go on for certification. They go through our 3 core classes, but they don't move forward. So I think it would be helpful if there's some way to get maybe Ross more involved in our students. And I know they try as hard as they can to help them move into actually being more helpful within the community instead of taking like the 3 courses and then just kind of dropping off to the side, so to speak. But that may also be a combination of the college working harder to see why students don't forward on and obtain their certificate. I've only really been here since February, so there may be something to that too. I'm just bringing that up.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I've actually been working with Christina. She works with a lot of the introduction to incarceration and philosophy, psychology classes that I know she's been involved trying to get the students more involved with recovery and reentry. So you're right. That's always a plus to get them involved. Thanks, Doug. Okay. Thanks, Chestnut Health Systems. I like that. Adolescent services, meetings, teen housing, those are always important. I mean, those are some things that, yes, I agree that we can improve here, just in not only with the ROSC, but the citywide. Okay, the third one, Doug, was that it, Doug?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So third one, do you believe that the following are still key priorities for McLean County ROSC? Recovery housing, adolescent services, which Chestnut Health System brought up, develop a variety of recovery support group meetings in McLean County, raising awareness for local and recovery support groups and services. So do you believe the following are key priorities for the McLean County ROSC? I think they are.
I feel like the housing has been since the beginning, but I don't know that the ROSC has really been able to make an impact with that. You know, the Oxford House, the new one opened, which was a good thing, but that kind of happened, you know, separate from the ROSC. We did have some events a few years back to help raise funds for sober living, you know, people coming out of jail or treatment to pay for first month's rent. That kind of fell by the wayside. But I still think that housing's the fundamental component to recovery, and that should stay at the forefront. I feel like it's actually slipped the last couple of years.
Andrea, like I would say overall, like everything you just said, I when I think of ROSC, I think of those things. So it's definitely something that pops in my brain though. But like recovery housing, that was a question I had. I was like, what are the things that ROSC is doing with that? It's such a huge need in our community, and I'm sure in so many communities, just housing in general, and especially that, that transitional piece to, that recovery process. So yeah, I guess that would be the only thing that maybe I haven't seen, but maybe I'm just not as informed of what the goal is with that. So.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Yes, housing is imperative. Without housing, there's no stability.
Mm-hmm.
So, I share that all the time. So, that's why I've been pushing for people that, in a community that have transition homes, to connect with others. I mean, it's great that the Oxford House is here, but, we need more than the Oxford House, So yeah, I think that's important. Another thing I want to think is important is rural community outreach. I work on the reentry side, and what I see a lot is a lot of our people that come home from prison and probably recovery, coming home from treatment, in the rural areas, there's not a lot of resources. So I know they've been, the ROSC is being very creative intentionally by putting more resources virtually. I know that they can attend meetings virtually, but what are some other things you guys think that ROSC can improve when it comes to rural community outreach?
I think it's like getting to the people and seeing the small communities. One thing I was going to say, I'm not sure about our counties, but I have a coworker in our Pontiac office that got real involved in the Livingston County ROSC that just kind of started maybe in the last 6 months, maybe, or a year at the most. And I know they just recently had like a get together on the square. The turnout wasn't great, but there was great turnout of like agencies and organizations. But I think it's just getting there, people seeing you, and the word spreading from there. I'm not sure. Rural communities, I think, are hard to reach, and it's I don't know, just knowing the people, I think, is what makes the difference. I know, like, we have an office in Pontiac, and it's always been hard to, like, unless you're from there and the people, it's hard to like for them to like feel trusting and to come to you. So that's my recommendation.
They may be already doing this, but I would say more community events like we had for Recovery Month. Maybe, I know we do a big Recovery Month here in September. Maybe we can think of another day in September in the rural areas, pick one. Or it ain't necessarily got to be during Recovery Month, but pick a couple of rural areas that you can have a resource fair, a gathering, or picnic for people in the rural areas to come out.
I think that's definitely a big thing, is just community awareness. I was born and raised in Macomb, and they didn't really have a whole lot of like recovery things going on back whenever I was younger that I could remember. And like when drug treatment started up, I thought it was just like the meetings that we had around town were court mandated, because everybody was kind of going to them around that time that I knew. So it was different when I got into recovery and found out that, there was optional AA and NA meetings, and it wasn't like public knowledge. Like my friends and the people I grew up around didn't really talk about it unless they got in trouble. And then they were telling me like, oh, I got to go to these meetings. And I think public awareness and community awareness is huge. Like when you guys do those events, like the one I went to in Galesburg, it was great. It was right in the middle of the town. And it was just like a huge gathering of people, and they even did a walk around town. Like, even if we're not directly talking to the people in that community, they see us and they're going to ask questions like, what was that about?
No, I totally agree. And the last one is, what are some new key strategic priority areas that the McLean County ROSC should be focused on over the next year? I'm going to say housing. I think Chestnut Health System said it perfectly. Without housing, no stability. And the key is, how could they focus on that? What can they do? How can they build the infrastructure? I know the the Oxford office involved. Well, what are those other some things we could share with them that they could do to help bring that infrastructure of housing in McLean County?
I mean, I think there like grants are available for rent. You know, I know at one point Chestnut received like a $30,000 grant for clients to receive rent assistance with sober living. So that's one thought. Fundraisers, raffles.
Our biggest thing in Oxford is just filling the houses. Once the houses get full and stable, then we can open more. It's really just people knowing about that being an option. If there is other sober homes around that area, just, you know, kind of talking them into going. Like women's houses are hard to fill. I got 4 girls in a 7-girl house, and it's been like that for 2 months. And I don't know if it's just like the women not wanting to go there, like not knowing about it, or what the issue is, but that's a common thing, is just like getting them full to where we can open more.
And so we have, you know, there's still clients at Chestnut and Bloomington who.
Oh, we needed more time.
I felt like I was kidnapped.
That means you're having good conversation.
Oh, man, so much.
That's great. I'm looking forward to hearing some of what was discussed in each of the rooms. We'll also have a couple Slido questions that each of you can provide individual anonymous feedback on. So the conversation isn't done just quite yet. All right, I think we're waiting on just a few folks to join us, and then we'll circle back. Okay. Toy, if you wouldn't mind starting us off, thank you for being one of our facilitators today. If you wouldn't mind sharing to the rest of the group what was discussed in your breakout, and just some of the key takeaways that maybe you gathered.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just in question 1 about improve and change, of course, you can always improve. I'm sorry, the first question, Summer, what areas do we feel that ROSC really does well? A lot of us, we talk greatly about the resource guide you got, virtually resource guide you got. I think those are some important things to have. So that resource guide, because everybody has a cell phone, you know, and 9 times out of 10, a lot of people they ain't gonna go out to the community to find out resources. They will, but more likely to get on that cell phone. So we talk about virtual resource. We talk about recovery support groups, how you guys do a good job of branding that, getting the word out about support groups, new ones starting. They talked about how you guys are informative on your monthly meetings. One of the individuals in my group talked about how you guys are very organized and how they really like how you organize that every month. Improve, you know, of course you can always improve, but one of the individuals talked about how can we get the Heartland students more involved, you know, and some of them are probably in recovery or going through recovery issues, but they may need to be a part of this and know where we're going to get involved. We talked about more adolescent services, meetings, housing. And then we talked about what are some priorities? Do you believe that the following are still a key priority for McLean County? Everything's came back to housing. We need to keep housing on the forefront, because without housing, there's no structure. So we talked about the rural McLean County doing more events out there like they did for Recovery Month. You know, how can we get the more rural area involved? Letting them know, let them see us, you know, maybe, you know, it don't necessarily have to be during Recovery Month, but, you know, maybe we could do some walkthroughs, invite people out to the local park there or whatever it is to get the rural community more involved. You know, back to it again at question 5, you know, like I said, what are some key new priority areas in McLean County to be focused on the next year? Back to this housing, fundraising for housing. You know, I'm gonna put it this way. I know you guys are connected with Chestnut. You know, maybe you can meet with Chestnut leadership team about them investing to transitional home halfway houses. I know at one time Chestnut, when I worked there years ago, I know across the street from the Martin Luther King building, there was supposed to be a transitional home and a halfway house, but and never did came through. So housing is the forefront, I think, for a lot of good things that our group talked about that I think could be great moving forward with the ROSC.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Toy. That is really incredible feedback that you guys were able to gather. Thank you for each of your insights.
Does anybody else want to add to that before I turn it over that was in my group?
I had a guy that was trying to talk to me about housing, but I don't know if that's I'm not sure what I should be talking about for the housing stuff. The big part about the housing for us would be just like people referring people to us. I have 4 women in a 7-woman house in Bloomington, and it seems hard to fill. It's not from, the residents' standpoint, it's from lack of interviews, people not really being interested in staying there in Bloomington in those houses. That's really the issue I'm having with the women's houses there. Men's houses seem to stay reasonably full, but we always have openings in Bloomington too. Other areas fill up faster than others. So that makes it a little bit of a problem because people pick an area, want to go there, they get shut down because there's no vacancies. And then they have to either pick something different or they get frustrated and just don't.
For sure. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Toy. Great feedback. Housing definitely is a top priority that our internal team continues to think through, and how can we be strategic with our various partners here on our ROSC Council to not only engage more folks in the housing community, but also how can we work together to start addressing some of these issues that we're seeing. So thank you both for your contribution. Michelle, if you wouldn't mind providing a report out for your group.
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
We sure can.
Okay, so we were all very positive. I'm very impressed with ROSC and just how you guys have survived a few leader changes and just how you've grown. You do great at community engagement and connecting, having key stakeholders and resources available to those in need. And then the JOT form and just how user-friendly that is. As far as better things to do, maybe get with the existing council members and get new connections. Who is it that we're not talking to, or do you think we need to talk to? People want more in-person get-togethers. The picnic was a very positive outcome, great for us to connect to each other. So maybe we volunteer together or do more in-person meetings and just build relationships together. That was one of the good things about the picnic. Getting more physical materials out into the public. And a suggestion might be that although the picnic flyer was beautiful, it wasn't very printer friendly just because of the amount of ink that was needed to print it. So maybe we could have one version that is colorful that can go out on social media, but then have one that's more, just a highlight of color to do on the printer, to print off. Involvement, how to get involved. Erica wanted to do maybe a physical resource for opioid education, and she would partner using her resources as creator of a flyer, and then partner with ROSC to get that out and do more opioid education. And then find out what everyone on the council, whether there's specialties, and how can we maybe do a survey, and how can we kind of use those specialties to better the council. And then housing, it's kind of a bleak outlook right now in the local housing. And so we weren't sure what ROSC could do, but I was saying that today I just got something from McLean County Planning Commission that they're putting out their survey on housing. So I would encourage everyone to go on there and give their honest opinion about what's going on in the housing, so that can be a very good survey that has good information. And then on adolescent services, what can we maybe partner with being parents and somehow use their resources to work with adolescent services. And then that's as far as we got. We've had such great conversation.
Awesome.
Does my group have anything else to add? Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so very much. Again, wonderful qualitative feedback that we're able to adapt to our strategic plan and some really great things to consider there. And I really appreciated what you shared, Michelle, in regards to really taking a deeper dive into what sectors are on our council and maybe who's missing, right? So that's something that our team is actively engaged in. We're tracking attendance and we're tracking sector engagement, recognizing the importance of each of those and what they bring to the table, right? So something that we need to work together as a team on, right? To identify who's missing from this table and how can we get them here. So thank you for that. And Michelle too, once that housing survey is available too, if you could please share that with us, and we are happy to put that on social media and distribute that to the rest of the council, that would be greatly appreciated.
I'll make sure that's okay, but I do have it. It's
you got cut off there, Michelle.
To library, but honestly, we don't have the space to do it. And so I think they might appreciate you doing that.
Sure, absolutely. Happy to connect with you offline. Alrighty, and last but not least, I'll turn it to Selena to discuss what was shared in your breakout room.
Thank you, Carrie. I just added in the McLean County Planning. They have it on their landing page to take the survey. So I just popped that into the chat. And I'm with Michelle. I think that we should try to help each other circulate that one as much as possible through our own community partnerships and make sure those voices get heard. So we had a lot of the same voicings of needing additional for housing. We felt there's more need for adolescent services to define what those are and how to get out to our youth. And then I think the most robust conversation we had was in regards to the rural outreach. So we mentioned the sober social events and the library outreach, but then also, and kind of, I think Toy, you mentioned this as well, maybe getting into those town celebrations throughout the county, having a table or something where we can do some more in-person outreach. But it's like everything else, go where they are. And so getting out and kind of getting a better presence out into the rural areas that way. So whatever those events are more locally for the smaller towns to get out, especially the further out into the county that we get, because we know that this is the largest landmass county in the state. So certainly a challenge, but something I think that there's plenty of opportunity for. And I'm trying to think, the last thing was mentioned that we didn't kind of get a full conversation on was working more with the RCO. So Barb, if you had additional thoughts, if you would mind sharing them so that we can kind of all hear about it.
Oh, no, I know that there's an RCO that's just beginning and very new, and would just love to get more involved with the RCO and kind of connect with each other and help each other out however we can.
I agree.
Awesome. Wonderful. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, Josh, but if you have any updates for the center, I know that's maybe a little bit outside of your wheelhouse and maybe you're not the best contact for that, but if you have any updates specific to the RCO development with Center for Human Services, we would be open to hearing what updates maybe you have there.
Yes, I think you're talking about the Recovery Community Center, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, the RCO.
Yeah. So there's an open house, I believe. I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's going to be the 25th. That's a Wednesday. Let me look real quick at my email. If I can get out of here. I believe it's from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. Is that correct? Did you guys have information yet?
We have not received anything to my understanding.
Okay. Here it is. This is something that maybe in the next, I could potentially 1 to 3, yes. 530 North Center. I can work with Natasha to get this out to you guys. Is there somebody specific that I should send it to, or?
That would be great. Our contact information will be provided at the end of the PowerPoint, Josh, so any of the emails on that list will be appropriate.
Cool. Yep. 1 to 3 next Wednesday. I know they've put a lot of furniture together. It's really coming along, so
Wonderful.
it should be good. Should be good.
Thank you for that update. So great opportunity for folks on this call that maybe are a little bit more unfamiliar with the Recovery Community Center, Recovery Community Organization. The center here in Bloomington Normal will be taking that on this fiscal year. So we're excited to see the work that's going to be coming of that and how ROSC can continue to partner and support in that process. Alrighty, thank you, Selena and your group. Any other final thoughts around the strategic plan update that you would like to report out to the larger group before we move on to our Slido questions? Okay, I will go ahead and stop my screen sharing and share a new slide with you today. All right, we are going to increase some engagement through what's considered to be a Slido poll. For those of you who are unaware, Slido is an anonymous survey. And so what you can do is you can scan that QR code in the left-hand side of your screen, or you can go to slido.com and type in that number that you see on the left-hand side as well. So that is 3400-303. And I will give folks just a couple moments to join on our Slido today. We have 3 different questions for you. And again, all of your responses will be completely anonymous. So again, this is just another tool that we are utilizing to increase engagement and receive feedback regarding our strategic plan edits. So I will go ahead and open up the first poll. Alrighty, so the first question is based off of our community needs and readiness, which part of the McLean ROSC strategic plan should be prioritized first? So exploring recovery housing options, that's something that I heard from almost every group today. Enhancing low-cost transportation services, a stigma reduction campaign, or increasing awareness of and promotion for harm reduction strategies and initiatives. All right, so we have 18 participants. And if you can see up here in the right-hand part of your screen, you can see that 10 people have participated thus far. So waiting on just a few more folks to put in their responses. As of right now, 64% of you are saying exploring recovery housing options should be the first thing that is prioritized within our strategic plan. Okay, thank you for your feedback on that. We'll go ahead and do question number 2. Question number 2 is, what type of free trainings or educational opportunities do you believe would benefit McLean County the most? So that should say substance use stigma, mental health recovery and supports, harm reduction strategies and stigma, or ROSC 101 and importance of persons with lived experience involvement, also known as PLE involvement. And if for some reason you're not able to join at the slido.com or through your phone, you're welcome to put your answers or any additional thoughts that you may have in the chat, and our team is recording those responses as well. All right, so right now, mental health recovery and supports is taking the lead with 36% of you saying that that should be the type of training that McLean County would benefit from the most. Right behind that, we see 29% saying harm reduction strategies and stigma, 21% substance use stigma, and then 14% ROSC 101 and importance of PLE involvement. Okay, thank you for your feedback on that. And the third and final question is what we consider to be a word cloud. So the more a word is mentioned, the larger it will get on our screen. So thinking through, what is one additional way that our ROSC Council can engage McLean County to continue increasing access to recovery services and supports. So there was a lot of great feedback that was provided from the breakout group. So if there's any additional thoughts or ideas that maybe we weren't able to hear from you, this is your opportunity to put that in the chat. Again, all of this data will be collected after I end the poll today, and our team will utilize each of your feedback to making the appropriate edits to our plan. See a few words come in. I see visibility, advertising. So things maybe like a billboard is worth exploring with some of our fiscal dollars, just general awareness, connections, more alignment with the 12-step and existing other recovery communities, outreach to schools. That's where the partnership with Bloomington Normal Parents could potentially come in. Some homeless services, education, stigma reduction campaigns, Narcan. Awesome. This is all really great feedback. I see about 4 participants typing, so I'll give folks just another minute or two to submit their thoughts. As you can see, education has been listed several times, so that is now the biggest word on our screen. I think that can kind of go hand in hand with everything that we shared on today and what was discussed in those breakout rooms. Awareness. Awesome. All right, due to the sake of time, I'll go ahead and deactivate our polls, but thank you all for your contributions and for sharing your insights. We really appreciate and value the things that you have to share with us. All righty, just making a quick mention, we did send out a McLean ROSC Health Survey check. This was something that was provided with the meeting reminder for today's meeting. So if you have not had the opportunity to do so, we highly recommend each of you just taking a moment to scan that QR code and fill out that quick 9 or 10 question questionnaire. Again, this is just kind of seeing where we're at as a ROSC Council. As we are in our 4th year of funding, how can we improve and how can we ensure that we are staying on track for sustainability and ensuring that appropriate recovery supports and services are being addressed in McLean County. So again, this link will be sent out afterwards. Yes.
I have tried to scan the code and it says I don't have permission to view or respond to the form.
Okay, we will make those edits to that. Thank you for letting me know, Emily. We'll make sure that that's taken care of after the meeting. I apologize for that disruption, but we will make sure that that's appropriately taken care of and sent out with the meeting minutes. Okay, I will now turn it over to Barb. In the last 9 minutes that we have in our meeting, we'll take some time to discuss some other ROSC updates.
Hey, hello everyone. I just wanted to kind of go over what we've done recently. And in September during Recovery Month, we had our 4th annual Recovery Month event, which was Light the Night, Let Your Inner Light Shine. And we all had a lot of fun. We were at Anderson Park and we had a great speaker, Langston, and 27 resource tables signed up, and we had tons of resources there for everyone. I do think everyone had a lot of fun. We had a great performance by BCAI and just a lot of good fellowship. We just really got together and in person and were able to connect with people. And let's see what else. Oh, and then I mentioned the library outreach. So these are just some of the presentations that the library set up. And we also had a local bookshop set up an area with books on recovery, substance use disorder, and offered all kinds of ROSC information resources at the libraries. They were all very welcome to this idea, and it was great connecting with them.
Barb, do you want to provide a quick update on our holiday planning party?
Yeah, so the planning committee, which we love and we'd love to have more. We're meeting every other week now, and we are planning for a holiday party. We had one last year at the Junction that was just great. And so we have narrowed it down to a couple dates and just still finalizing where it's going to be, but I'm sure we'll have more information on our next meeting. And then also this week, Thursday, is McLean County Behavioral Health Community Forum. And our own Kat Hayes will be presenting on healing the narrative on non-suicidal self-injury. So I'm really looking forward to her presentation, and there's going to be a lot of other presentations there, and we'll have a table there, and I'm sure a lot of you will be there, but the more the merrier. So we're really looking forward to that on Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you, Barb.
Mhm.
And then again, as Barb mentioned, we have our planning committee and we're always seeking new members for that. So for the time being, folks are meeting every other week for 1 hour. As of right now, that meeting takes place at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays. So if that is something that any of you are interested in joining in and providing your perspective for the holiday party, but also any other additional sober social events that the McLean County ROSC puts on, please reach out to Kat. Her name and her contact information is up there on the screen, and she would be happy to get you connected with that group. Alrighty, we also have Narcan, right? So that's something that I saw across the Slido there. So just sending a friendly reminder, if you or your agency are interested in receiving free Narcan, or if you're interested in a free Narcan training, appropriate contact information is on our screen here. Randy Derrick, she's actually the individual that oversees the Bloomington Normal Parents Program, but she's also our Narcan provider for Chestnut and for McLean County. So we are very thankful for her, and she's always happy to engage with new folks and new agencies. So if that's something that's of interest to any of you, please feel free to reach out to her or even to our ROSC team, and we'd be happy to get you connected. All righty, Barb, I'll turn it over to you. Oh, Barb, you're on mute.
Okay, I was saying now we want to hear from you. So we'd love to hear any updates that you have. So just I'm opening it up to the floor, and just let us know what's going on in the community.
Good morning, Toy Beasley again. Just want to make everybody aware we have moved our Winter Circle peer-led support groups to Second Press Church on I forget what address it is, but I sent the flyer out to Kat to send out to everyone. So every Tuesday night, we have a Winter Circle peer-led support group from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. 404 Prairie Street at Second Press Church. Some of you guys that don't know what a Winter Circle peer-led support group is, it's similar to an AA or NA meeting. It's geared towards people, men and women that have been just as impacted by the criminal justice system, but anyone's welcome to attend. It's an open meeting, so you ain't got to be a person with lived experience to attend. We'd love to have you out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toy.
Hi, it's Alicia from McLean County Fuse. So I, underneath the Behavioral Health Care Coordination, I'll be there as a volunteer at the Behavioral Health Forum on Thursday. One of the things my assistant director wanted me to inform you on is if you haven't registered online, just come the day of and we'll register you then. It wouldn't be useful for you to do it online right now.
Okay, thank you.
Alicia, if you have a moment, do you mind putting the contact information or just any other general information for the forum on Thursday in the chat for everyone?
Sure. I'll put the link to the forum, and then on that link has my assistant director's contact information.
Great. Thank you so much. Kat, your hand is raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you guys had sent me anything in the chat, like at around 4:10 to 4:15, I had to restart my computer in the middle of things. So if you had anything, just please email it to me and I'll make sure we get it sent out with anything that needs to go out.
And this is Michelle from the Bloomington Library again. We have moved. We moved to the new portion of our library. So come and check out a little bit of what the final product is going to look like. But unfortunately, no community room yet or any meeting spaces at this moment, but I will keep you informed when those do become available.
Thank you, Michelle. That's really exciting. We're looking forward to seeing the new space.
It's big, it's huge, it's exciting.
Very exciting. All righty. Any other agency updates, things going on, areas for support before we wrap up our time today?
Hi everyone, Erica with the prescription playbook again. Drug take back day is next Saturday, the 28th. So if anyone is still looking for any resources on safe disposal, we have a bunch of free materials. I put the order form in the chat again and I can send it to Kat. But if anyone needs anything, just let me know. And I'm looking forward to seeing some people at the health forum on Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica.
Oh, I have one last thing just before we hop off. Just want to let everybody know the McLean County Reentry Council, our monthly meeting on this Friday. You're welcome to join us. I will send Kat the information how to get connected. We're having a panel discussion. So we're going to do a panel with 3 individuals that have lived experience that's coming home from incarceration. Going to be able to share some of their stories and see where they came from, see what the good, the bad, and the ugly, so the things they went through in life, the things that they're headed to in life today.
That sounds really impactful, Toy. Sounds like a great meeting to be a part of, and we're happy to share that information with everyone. Alrighty, just due to the sake of time, we'll go ahead and transition to the last couple slides. Again, at any point, if any of you have any additional thoughts, questions, concerns, just want to be in touch with us. We'd love to hear you. Yes, we'll be at the Behavioral Health Forum with a table on Thursday and looking forward to seeing many of you in person. But as always, the phone is always open, email is always open, and we would love to hear any other final thoughts or questions that maybe you have or how we can get you more engaged with the ROSC Council. But for the time being, our next meeting will be Tuesday, November 21st, virtual from 3:30 to 4:30. Thank you all just for your time today. It was a pleasure to connect with you in a really valuable way. We collected some really great data today, and thank you for our facilitators to kind of guide some of those conversations as well. So we wish you all of the best and hope to see you next month.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.